You know that strange heaviness you feel when you're trying to pull someone out of their suffering, and somehow you're the one who ends up drained? But I don't mean the obvious frustration of giving advice to someone who ignores it. I mean when you really begin to see that some people are more addicted to their pain than committed to their healing. And here's what nobody tells you. Sometimes the more you try to save someone, the more they cling to the very thing destroying them. So let me ask you, what if your compassion is keeping you trapped? Subscribe to Plato's Philosophy YouTube channel to get the answer. Nobody tells you this, but sensitive, introspective people carry a burden that's invisible to the world. We assume that love automatically translates into transformation. We assume that clarity can be transferred. We assume that insight can be borrowed. But what if everything we've been taught about helping others is backwards? Do you ever feel like you're explaining life with a full map to someone who prefers wandering in circles? Do you ever feel responsible for the emotional safety of people who won't take responsibility for themselves? Do you ever notice that the more you give, the less they grow? Here's where it gets interesting. Plato warned that most people don't want truth. They want comfort. Truth disrupts their identity. Comfort reinforces it. And for someone who's highly empathetic, this creates an internal conflict. You see their potential, but they cling to their patterns. Let me share something you've probably felt but never fully articulated. Your exhaustion isn't a flaw. It's a sign that your soul is waking up to a deeper rule of human nature, a rule ancient philosophers understood, but we rarely speak about today. And this is where the danger begins. Because if you don't understand this rule, you'll spend your life rescuing people who aren't actually drowning. They're simply refusing to stand. Let's move into the real truth. Not through steps, not through instructions, but through a continuous unraveling of why you can't save everyone and why that realization sets you free. The truth beneath the instinct to save. Highly sensitive people feel other people's suffering in their nervous system, not metaphorically, biologically. Your empathy is not poetic, it's physiological. So naturally you try to help. You listen, you explain, you guide. You stay up late trying to understand. You sacrifice sleep, emotional bandwidth, even your peace. But here's the paradox. Your clarity cannot substitute for their willingness. Clarity cannot be donated. Growth cannot be gifted. Awakening cannot be loaned. It's like trying to hand someone a light while they're clutching their shadows. You can't force a sunrise in a room where someone keeps closing the curtains. And here's what nobody tells you. Some people don't want healing. They want witnesses to their suffering. They want attention from the wound, not freedom from it. The hidden psychology of rescuing. Every time you try to pull someone out of their darkness, you unintentionally reinforce a dynamic. You become the rescuer, they become the rescued, and both identities start feeding each other. But identities come with consequences, because once you become someone's emotional crutch, they stop developing their own legs. They stop building inner muscles. They stop learning. It's like lifting weights for someone and assuming their body will get stronger. Think of it this way. A butterfly must struggle against its cocoon. That struggle pumps fluid into its wings. If you cut the cocoon open to help, the butterfly emerges with wings too weak to fly. The struggle wasn't the problem, your interference was. And that's the brutal truth Plato hinted at again and again. Unnecessary help becomes a new form of harm. The illusion of timing. There's something even deeper, something almost mystical. People don't change when you think they're ready. They change when their soul reaches a breaking point. Growth is not intellectual, it's existential. A person transforms only when their old life becomes too small for the person they're becoming. Until then, your advice is noise. Your compassion is wasted. Your effort is recycled into their excuses. It's like planting a seed in frozen soil. The seed isn't wrong, the soil just isn't thawed. And this is where most sensitive souls get trapped. You mistake potential for readiness, but potential is cheap. Readiness is rare. The paradox of pain. Deep inside, every person has a threshold, a personal tipping point. Not when things get hard, but when things get real. People don't usually grow from comfort. They grow from collision. Your job is not to soften life for them. Your job is to allow life to teach them in the way only life can. Because here's another paradox. The more you protect someone from the consequences of their choices, the more they repeat those choices. You become their shock absorber, and the universe loses its ability to teach them. And sometimes, though it hurts to admit, you're not helping them survive, you're helping them stay the same. The danger of being needed. There's a subtle trap here, one that empathetic people rarely see. Sometimes, without realizing it, you feel valuable when people need you. You feel purposeful when they fall apart. You feel important when you're the one who holds them together. But that becomes a prison disguised as purpose. Because once your value depends on saving others, you unconsciously attract people who need saving, and they unconsciously attract someone who will rescue them. It becomes a gravitational pull, a dance between the broken self and the healer identity. But identities are limiting, and this one slowly suffocates your own evolution. Plato warned about this very thing. Misidentified duty becomes self-chosen slavery. You were not born to be everyone's medicine. You were not meant to be everyone's therapist. Your heart is not a hospital. The law of inner readiness. Here is the core truth, Plato's brutal law of human nature. People awaken only when their inner world is ready to receive truth, not when someone else tries to deliver it. Awakening is an internal ignition, a spark, a collapse of an old self, a surrender to something deeper. You can guide someone, you can offer perspective, you can share wisdom, you can model clarity, but you cannot replace the inner collapse they must face. You cannot swallow their shadows, you cannot walk their path, you cannot carry their consequences. The universe does not outsource transformation, and that is the brutal beauty of it. The metaphor of muddy water. Trying to force someone to change is like stirring muddy water with a stick. The more you stir, the cloudier it gets. But if you step back and let stillness do its work, clarity emerges on its own. You stepping back isn't abandonment. It's allowing nature to do its job. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is to stop interfering with someone's karmic momentum, because your presence can become their escape. Your wisdom becomes their crutch. Your strength becomes their hiding place. And in that hiding place, they never grow. So, here we are, back to the ache that pulled you into this video. That familiar frustration of watching someone you care about spiral downward, while you stand helplessly on the sidelines. All of this connects because of one profound truth. You are not responsible for someone else's awakening, only for your boundaries, your presence, and your clarity. The beautiful secret is this: you're not failing when someone refuses to change. You're not cold for stepping back. You're not unkind for letting people feel their consequences. You are finally honoring the deepest law of human nature. Growth must be chosen, not delivered. You are not broken. You are not too sensitive. You are not too much. You're simply awakening. And awakening always outgrows the environments that depend on your self-abandonment. This is the paradox. The more you honor your boundaries, the more your presence becomes an invitation, not a rescue mission. You are not here to carry people. You are here to walk your path so clearly that others remember they have one too. So the next time you find yourself trying to lift someone who refuses to stand, pause. Remember what we explored today. Remember that wisdom can be offered, but not injected. You are the universe experiencing itself through compassion and discernment. You're allowed to step back. You're allowed to choose peace. You're allowed to let others meet their own lessons. And so the journey continues, not in saving others, but in finally returning to yourself.